Alright everyone, you've seen my truck enough times, but you probably never really get a close look at it because I'm usually taking pictures that focus on beauty. So I'm going to show you some of the hidden sins of my truck. First of all, you can see that the body line doesn't quite match up on this bed. That's because I need a cab mount. Second of all, you probably notice that the body line kind of stinks down here. It's because my cab corners and my rockers don't fit at all. Cheap LMC junk. That was really back before I knew any better. Inside of the bed, this is a great bed. I'm very happy with the bed, but you might notice that the top of the bed rails is a little wavy. I really wish I would have taken a little time to get better body work done before I build it. You'll notice there's 4 holes. That's normally where my spare tire carrier is, but you'll notice that the little spot welds kind of didn't like all the rocking back and forth of the unsupported spare tire carrier, so I have it out for right now. Could use a little seam sealer on it. The inside of the bed, I've never really kept that pristine because I do use the truck, and I usually just touch it up with some very close but not quite tractor paint from time to time. Tailgate has been a bone of contention since it got installed, because when the roll pan was installed, they mounted it just a little bit too high. So, because they mounted the roll pan a little bit too high, the tailgate is a little bit too high, because we had to bump it up to kind of compensate for that. No one's ever confessed to it, but a few years ago my dad had to borrow this truck, and it came back with a little dent above the tailpipe. I have some touch-up paint, so you might not really see it, but a little dent there above the tailpipe has always been kind of an ongoing contention there. You'll notice that there's no door handle on this side, and there is a door handle on this side. I get a lot of grief about that. It came from some confusion from when the truck got done. I told the guy who was doing the body work for me that I'd like to shave the door lock. I just wanted to shave the door lock. I didn't mean to get rid of the handle. Well, he didn't quite understand. It was a little too late because it was already done, so we've just chosen to live with it. Here's another good view of a rocker that doesn't quite fit. It was straight, but then the door wouldn't close. The only way to get the door closed was to do a little bit of a relief cut, which bowed it out a little bit. So, rocker panel is a little bit bowed out. You also notice the body line on the fender stinks because it's a Chinese fender. Chinese fenders on both sides don't line up, and I'm constantly fighting with the hood alignment. A couple times a year I got to get in there and adjust the hood bumpers, but it never quite lines up. The body lines on these Taiwan fenders are just terrible. This is the original front bumper and hood to the truck. It's really the only original sheet metal left on the truck. I've always been very happy with those items. It's even the original front air dam. This is really the best looking part of the truck, is the front end. The original air dam that came with the truck, original bumper, new old stock grill. I did swap the radiator support to use a new style one-piece grill. On the way home from getting the truck painted before the hood was ever even installed on the truck, got a little dent right there. See if I can find some light to show it off, but there's a dent right there in the hood. It drives me nuts. But that has been there since the truck was pretty much painted. Here you can see the door handle. Now, this is not a GM door handle. I need to get a GM door handle, but this one's already painted. Now the problem is, I don't know if you can see it, I had to make a little plastic shim in there because it would hit the paint. Now the inside is not clean, so bear with me here because we're going to plunge into the interior. It is a pretty nice interior. As good as you're going to find without spending a small fortune. It's pieced together from 3 or 4 different trucks. That is an original GM carpet ripped out of another truck. The carpet and the dash came from the same truck. The seats came from another truck. The door panels came from another truck. The center console is from a newer truck altogether. It's from an automatic Gen 2 truck. You can see I kind of cut a hole there, but I have not made a boot for it yet. And yes, I do have a snack there. I did install a little outlet thing on my parcel shelf. The interior needs vacuum. This thing has had a couple road trips since it's really gotten cleaned last. It last got cleaned right before Carlisle, but it's been driven quite a bit. Here is my gauge cluster. Probably the only original part of the interior. It is the base model cluster with no gauges. You can see it has a fair amount of miles. Original drivetrain. I have not touched the drivetrain since I bought the truck. It's 2.5 4-banger 5-speed. I did take the cluster apart when the truck got painted and painted the background. I never really liked the color blue they used in the background, and I just used some John Deere yellow in a spray can to paint that. It came out really nice though. I've always been real happy with it. It looks great lit up at night. This truck did not originally have air conditioning, power steering, power brakes. Now it has power windows, power mirrors, power locks. You can see I did the popular mod on the window switch. Ripped that all out of a 94 Blazer that had been wrecked that I bought for a couple $100 that I pretty much got all the power options out of. Junkyard radio with 5-band EQ. These are power seats. You can see here all features of the seats do work. I have the correct delayed entry lighting on the mirror from the Blazer that I parted out. Do have the fancy sunshades. I did not put the second part of the sunshade on because I didn't really want to cut holes. This is a brand new headliner and I really didn't want to mess with it. You can see I did cut off the elastic strap. I never really did do a clean job of fixing it, but I did cut off the elastic straps because, as we all know, they tend to stretch. Do have the clear dome light cover on with the flickering LED that I absolutely despise. I've just been too lazy to get a conventional incandescent bulb to replace that bad LED because I'm just not a fan of LED interior lights. And long and short of it, that's really about it. You can see the Mod Shop tailgate relocator. It is a Mod Shop tailgate skin and roll pan on here as well. And typical Gen 1 too. Gotta slam the door. But all in all, there's a quick little tour of my truck.